Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. In today's video, I am going to be discussing one thing that I am going to be watching for in each Christmas Day matchup. However, before I get too far into it, I want to remind you all to leave a like and subscribe. I've been appreciating all the support that I've been receiving lately, and I hope to see that continue. In addition to that, Merry Christmas, everyone, or Happy Holidays. It's been a terrific ride thus far in my YouTube career, if you want to say that, and I'm just so grateful for all of you and all the support that I've gotten. It's been incredible and very, very fun, and I'm going to continue to keep making these YouTube videos. Also, I got to open one gift a day early because we celebrated Christmas on one side of my family today, and I got a Luka jersey, so I'm going to be rocking that in today's video. Now, without further ado, let's start previewing the Christmas Day games. The first game of the day is the Pelicans at the Heat, which is at 11 a.m. Central Time. I live in Wisconsin, so all the times that I list are going to be Central. And the thing that I'm really going to be watching out for in this game is Jimmy Butler versus Brandon Ingram. These are two really, really high-level players. Both made All-Star teams last year. Both are capable of scoring points well into the 30s on any given night. They have very differing play styles, as Brandon Ingram is much more focused on scoring from the perimeter as a jump shooter, while Jimmy Butler is really focused on getting to the rim and drawing fouls, but they both play the same position. I think we'll see the two of them matched up against each other a lot of times, and I think that whoever wins this matchup is going to give their team a really solid chance to win the game as a whole. The second game of the day is the Warriors at the Bucks. That game is at 1:30 p.m. Central Time. And what I'm going to be watching for in this game is whether or not either team can get any sort of bench production. In the opening game for the Warriors, their offense looked pretty rough. They didn't put up 100 points against the Nets, and most of the scoring came from James Wiseman and Steph Curry. So I'm going to be excited to see whether or not they're able to get any sort of scoring production out of their guys on the second unit, like Kent Bazemore and Brad Wanamaker and Damian Lee. They need more production from those players, and the same is true from the Bucks, who in their opening night loss to the Boston Celtics got 87 points from their big three of Chris Middleton, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Jrue Holiday. Outside of that, they did not get much scoring production, although Dante DiVincenzo also put up 15 points, and most of that was because the bench unit really struggled. Bobby Portis had a bad game. I think he only had 1 point. Pat Connaughton knocked down 2 threes in the first half, but really struggled outside of that. Sam Merrill didn't post a single statistic during his 5 minutes of action. Bryn Forbes hit 1 3-pointer, I believe, but really was not too effective outside of that. So overall, both of these two teams have second units that are going to need to play much better than they did in their opening games in order for the teams to reach their ceilings of being high-level playoff teams, in the Bucks' case, actual championship contender. So that's what I'll be looking out for in this game. The third game on the docket is the Nets at the Celtics, which is at 4 p.m. Central Time. In this game, I am going to be quite excited to see Kyrie Irving return to Boston and take on his former team. Now, we know as fans that he clashed quite a bit with some of the other personalities in that locker room. You have to figure that Marcus Smart was probably a huge part of that, and those two guys are going to be matched up against each other quite a bit on the court on Friday night. So I'm going to be quite excited to see whether or not we could see some fireworks of the two guys exchanging some words perhaps, or who is going to take out their anger on the court and perform at a high level. This is a really exciting game. We're getting to see two All-NBA caliber forwards match up in Kevin Durant and Jason Tatum, and we're also going to see some other high-level matchups. Karis LeVert and Jaylen Brown is another one that I'm going to be keeping a close eye on. But obviously, with Kyrie taking on his former team, that's the biggest storyline of this game, and I'm super excited to see if he can follow up his terrific performance in the Nets opening night win over the Warriors in tonight's game, or tomorrow night's, well, I guess this video is coming out tomorrow, so yeah, tonight's game against the Celtics. In the fourth game of the day, we have the Mavs visiting the Lakers. This game's taking place at 7 p.m. Central Time, and I get that there's a lot of stars in this game. LeBron and Anthony Davis were both top 5 MVP finishers last season, if I'm not mistaken. Anthony Davis was second in Defensive Player of the Year voting, and LeBron won the Finals MVP with the Lakers winning the championship. But the star that I'm going to be looking out for in this game is this guy right here, Luka Doncic. Luka has exploded onto the scene in the last 2 seasons, which are his rookie and sophomore year, which is just incredible because of how ridiculously productive he's been in those years. And he has established himself as a true competitor for the MVP award this year. In his opening night game against the Phoenix Suns, he scored 32 points, had 8 rebounds, and 5 assists, although it might have been 8 assists and 5 rebounds. Whatever. Put up a terrific game to open up statistically and really didn't even look that good while doing it and still scored 32 points. So I'm going to be very, very excited to see what kind of performance Luka has. I believe that this is his first Christmas Day game, and I'm just super pumped to see what kind of show he puts on for all of us basketball fans. Finally, the last game of the day is Clippers at Nuggets, which is at 9:30 p.m. Central Time. This is probably the single matchup that I am most excited for because we saw this be one of the best series of last year's playoffs as the Clippers jumped out to a 3-1 lead before the Nuggets came back from their 3-1 deficit and won the series in 7 games. I'm super pumped to see what kind of energy we see from these two teams coming out. In the Clippers' opening day win against the Lakers, we saw Paul George and Kawhi Leonard put in terrific efforts, with George scoring 33 points on 18 shots and Leonard putting up 26 on lesser efficiency but still had a terrific showing. This team is going to have to carry that over into tonight if they're going to win in Denver, which is one of the more challenging places to come away with a victory because of the altitude and stuff. And it's really a revenge game for the Clippers. So that's going to be what I'm keeping my eyes on. Are we going to see this team come out with a vengeance and really fight and put it on against this Nuggets team? Because I really do think that they're the better team than the Nuggets. So are they going to come out and just say, you know what? You beat us last year? Well, this is a new team. We have a new coach. We have a new 5th starter in Serge Ibaka. And we're not messing around. I'm excited to see this Clippers team. I think that they are elite, and this is certainly one of the more intriguing matchups for them against the team that knocked them out of last year's playoffs. On the Nuggets side, they're coming off a tough loss to the Kings to open up their season, and they're going to be looking to bounce back by getting a victory over one of the stronger teams in the league. So this is my favorite matchup of the day. I can't wait to see it, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to finish off this video by making some predictions for each of the games. We'll start with Pelicans Heat. I'm going to go with the Heat. They lost their opening day game to the Magic, and it's Christmas Day. This team has a ton of high-level performers like Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. Tyler Hero can get hot. Duncan Robinson can get hot. I'm going to take this team to win. In the Warriors-Bucks game, I think the Bucks are a significantly better team with far more talent. And so I'm going to pick them to beat the Warriors. I think that this has a chance to be one of the bigger blowouts and the least close game of the day. Nets-Celtics was a game that I said that I was very much excited for. It's between this one and the Clippers-Nuggets game for which one I'm most highly anticipating. But in this game, I think that the Nets have a solid matchup against the Celtics. But in the end, I think that we could see Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown continue to stay hot. It's a home game for the Celtics, although that doesn't mean as much this year as it has in years past. I still think that they got out the victory, and I will take them to come away victorious. In the Mavs-Lakers game, I'm going to pick an upset here and go with the Mavs. No, this might just be because I was gifted the Luka jersey tonight, and I'm excited to see him play on Christmas Day. But we did see the Lakers come out a bit slow in their game against the Clippers. They weren't necessarily playing as hard as they did during the regular season last year. I have the Mavericks finishing as the 7th seed in the Western Conference, so I'm actually a little bit lower on them than most people are. But they're certainly still a very good team, and Luka Doncic is capable of putting on a show. I think we could see him put up like 40-plus points tomorrow night. So for that reason, I'm going to take the Mavericks in what's probably one of the bigger upsets of the day if it were to happen. And then in the Clippers-Nuggets game, I think I got to go with the Nuggets at home. That high-altitude home court advantage that they have in Denver gives them a huge advantage, especially against teams that aren't necessarily the most accustomed to playing there. And considering the Clippers weren't and usually aren't in the Nuggets division, they haven't played there as many times as someone like Portland or Utah has. So I'm going to take the Nuggets because of the home court advantage. I think that Jamal Murray bounces back from a tough first game of the season against the Kings. We see the Nuggets right the ship a little bit and even up their record at 1-1. Overall, this is a terrific slate of games on Christmas Day. Would I have preferred to see a team like the Jazz or the 76ers playing instead of the Pelicans in the opening game of the day? Yeah, I probably would have. I think that the NBA has favored Zion a little bit too much in their scheduling stuff. But I'm still super excited. I think that these are going to be a lot of really good, really fun games, and I'm excited to enjoy them with my family on Christmas Day. Once again, Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope that you all have terrific health during this holiday season and stay safe. I think I've covered everything that I wanted to cover. Have a terrific Christmas Day, and ladies and gentlemen, I will see you all again very soon.